you've talked about zoning, and you seem to be brushing it aside, generally. In this country, some people have argued that you have to learn to balance things fairly. Beg your pardon, Honorable Okafor has made the point for, why should go to the Southeast. He has said that they have been able to muster even more numbers than they did in the 2015 elections. Don't you think that at least, some reward should go to the Southeast if these positions are being looked at as reward for work done?
But I can tell you, all the zones, the argument they are making is the votes, like the North Central that are making the case. They are saying they are the third to give the APC the numbers during the presidential election. And the argument people are bringing is that the Southeast did not bring the numbers. So in terms of fairness, if you look at it, the president under this administration, the president has been so fair to the Southeast. So many infrastructural projects that were given or that have been awarded, especially road projects. Go to the Southeast and see the project, Mr. President.
So indeed the president might have been fair to the Southeast. I mean, all of that is for the Southeasterners to say they have seen or they haven't seen. But in terms of positions zoned by your party, what exactly is left to the Southeast? I
think there are other offices that we're just talking about the speaker and the deputy speaker. There are other positions like the leader, deputy leader, the whip, deputy whip, which I know definitely the party, because the party has not come out with the zoning of other offices. So when the party comes out with the zoning of other offices, I'm sure, I'm certain that the Southeast will be given a position in these other offices left, which you're waiting for the party to officially unveil which zones, like the leader, which zone is it going to, the deputy leader, which zone is it going to, the whip, which zone is it going to. So we're waiting for that.
You shook your head when you heard that.
Yes, but I shook my head. Ours is a democracy, and we have a constitution. And in that constitution, we have such a thing as federal character. I think that my party, in deciding on who gets what, should respect the spirit and the letter of the federal character. I want to differ with, or I want to agree with my colleague here, who said the President Muhammadu Buhari have shown some genuine interest in the affairs of the Southeast. I agree completely. Even before he became the president, the last 3 times he ran unsuccessfully, he had Southeasterners as his running mates. So as a person, the president is disposed to the Southeast and indeed, the rest of the country. But my argument is that our party leadership should complement that posturing of the president, especially with regards to the party's disposition to that geopolitical zone, the Southeast. I insist that the party should feel the pulse of the nation. I insist that the party should weigh in on the equitable inclusion of the federated units of the country in line with the provisions of the constitution of the country. And the party has a constitution.
So how would you like it to be shared then?
We have 6 geopolitical zones, very simple.
If you were to zone it, I mean.
If I were to zone it, the president coming from the northwest, and the position of the vice president is already sitting in the southwest. And rightly too, the party have also taken a position on the position of a senior presidency, and they are looking at the northeast. And I'll tell you that the northeast have not had that position, have not covered that position since these are democracies. So it's not out of place to say the Northeast can have the position of a senior president. But we are looking at the position of the speaker to say, since the dawn of this democracy, that position of speaker have not been held in the Southeast. So between the Southeast and the North Central, the position of the speaker and deputy speaker should be, because these two geopolitical zones should be considered for the position of speaker and deputy speaker. Who are thinking, we understand that they are looking at south-south for the position of deputy senior president. What am I looking at? We have 6 positions, and we have 6 geopolitical zones. Equity demands, fairness, national interest demands that these 6 positions ought to be zoned. Having had the president come from northwest and the vice president already in the southwest, the remaining 4 positions should naturally go to the remaining 4 zones.
What do you make of ranking? Because some people will also say that, Honorable, this is only your 2nd time in the House of Representatives. This will be Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila's 5th time in the House of Representatives. In this current dispensation, in the National Assembly, since we returned to democracy in 1999. If Honorable Bankole were to come back to the National Assembly now, the arguments, might be different. But considering the fact that somebody has been there this is going to be the 5th time, because for 16 years, it's going to be going to 20 years by the time his term is completed. Don't you think that it makes perhaps a stronger case, considering the fact that he's been minority leader, he's been majority leader?
I agree.
Doesn't it flow naturally
I agree
that
completely.
at some point?
Femi Wajabemela is the most experienced member in that great chamber now as we speak, going into the 9th Assembly. I agree completely. But in consideration for positions in a democracy that is evolving, that is emerging, like ours, some other factors, like I did mention, should come to play in consideration or considering who gets what out of the federating units. That's the point I am making. Don't take away anything from Femi's competence and qualification, but there are these other factors I mentioned that the party ought to look at. I said, and I want to repeat, that the party should feel the pulse of the nation. We are looking at a geopolitical zone, for instance, that you have this agitation from this group, who are agitating or who are insisting that they don't have a place in that country, in the country called Nigeria. And you have some of us who know that they are not completely right in that thinking. And we expect the national party and the government to deliberately extend some gestures to such a geopolitical zone to correct that, the impression, to correct that perception.
And gestures like majority leader might not be sufficient?
Not very sufficient. We have heard deputy speaker in this democracy. I mean, that geopolitical zone. We've held Senate president in this democracy under the PDP. The Southeast have held it for 8 years. The Southeast is holding the position of deputy Senate president, but not through a contraction, if you want to use that word. Otherwise, we would have gotten it in 2015. But we are of APC. That position didn't come to us. It went to the PDP. We have held the position of deputy speaker. So what else can you give us as a people, especially considering the improvement, the effort, the party leaders the supporters of the party in that zone, the indices I just gave you, the improvement from 2015 election to what we have in 2019. So what better position can you give us to justify the effort and to make it all inclusive? So that's what we are asking for the position of speaker. But let me also say this, Bobe. There's a saying in my place that the little chick, the hawk is running away with. Say, I'm crying not because what is holding me will lead me, but I want the world to hear my voice. So I say that to say that the Southeast geopolitical zone have been boxed to such a corner that we'll continue to make this agitation. It may not really change the perception or the narrative now, but we don't want to sit down and, like we say in our place, and watch people carry you and walk past your father's across your father's house. It may not really change the posture, it may not really, but we have to speak out. We are part of this federating unit called Nigeria.
Okay,
you cannot completely exclude us, and just like you put a child and ask a child not to cry. And that would be unfair.
Now, I'm just wondering, now that it has been zoned to from what I'm gathering from you gentlemen, you say that the speakership has been zoned to the Southwest, even narrowed down to one person. The deputy speaker, has it been zoned? It's been zoned to the North Central. To the North Central.
Oh, yes. And the president has also been zoned to the Northeast.
And what about the deputy Senate president?
Well, we understand that it's already zoned to the South-South. You had it from him. He just said it.
It's been zoned to the South-South. Yes, so the Southeast has been left out of
left completely.
Out of this.
The over 400,000 people that voted for the president and the APC in the last election, what the party is saying to you, you can go to hell and stay there.
Is that what your party is saying?
No. It's not.
He's a member of your party.
No, but
that's what he believes your party is saying.
No. Let me tell you, he has the right to say that because he's vying for an office. He's making a case why he should be given that office. So whatever he feels will make a strong case. But to me, I'm looking at it, as I said, differently. And to me, the party has been fair enough. Because we were given opportunity. And I think he was at the dinner. And after, when the chairman made the pronunciation, the floor was opened. And they said every member should contribute. So I expected him being there to raise up his hand, collect the microphone, and make his own case. But he didn't say that.
You didn't make a case at that point?
He did not.
Mobe, you know how these things are structured. Let us not come to national TV and grandstand. You are invited to a dinner with the president inside a villa, and then the meeting is being regulated, and they say 4 people will talk, and the hands went up and 4 people were selected. Will you jump and take microphone from the company? You wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but from what we understand here now, there are people who stood up. One even who, from what you understand, the president said to the lawmaker, "You've spoiled my dinner." There are people who actually spoke their mind regardless.
Now, the meeting was very well regulated. I said I wasn't going to talk about that meeting because it was a private dinner with the president, the commander-in-chief of our country. But 4 people, they said 4 people will speak. Hands went up, my hand went up. 1, you come and speak. 2, come and speak. It was the last 4th person they chose to speak, the 3rd person that came, and they were all from the north. I must say this. And then the 3rd person that came to speak was the one that said he would like Wase to speak. He made reference to it if he were in the dinner. The 3rd person said, this meeting will not just end if some people like Wase do not speak. Okay, now give my coffee to Wase. Wase spoke. Unfortunately, you know, the way manner he spoke and the president also responded. I don't want to go into that. The fact is that that dinner, from what we found out, was not an opportunity for you to ventilate ideas. It was an opportunity for you to speak your mind. It was an opportunity for the party to tell us what the party has decided. And I said, and I want to repeat, that there's nothing wrong with that. But I insist that it is important that the party, in sharing the positions, was supposed to weigh in on equitable inclusion of federating units.
Would you be working with the opposition then, now that your party hasn't zoned it in the manner that
I will not work with the opposition. We're in April. I still want to believe that we still have a long time enough. Such engagements like coming to national TV or channels and talking and then making these points clear. The leadership is not spirit. They are human beings. The national chairman, a comrade, is a well-experienced person who knows a lot about the country. But there are information that you may not be available to you, when certain decisions are taken. So we are taking advantage of such opportunity like coming to Sunrise Daily to make such points. Well, especially when we didn't have the chance at the meeting to be able to say, hey, if you do...
You don't think I would have made more impact when you're able to address your own members? This is supposed to be an internal party affair, so to speak.
You mean the dinner?
Yes.
Was it really a meeting? It was a briefing. I still insist. It was a briefing. We were asked to come, we came. At the point of the national chairman spoke first. And he made very clear the position of the party with respect to the position of speaker. And then at some point, they now said, 4 persons will speak. So how do we start? It was Femi, the media man. How do we start? Okay, you take microphone. You are in a dinner in the villa with the president. When we are leaders, responsible leaders. So you won't just jump up and start behaving. And we're honorable members, for crying out loud. You won't just start behaving like touts. I told you that they say 4 persons will speak, and they picked the 4 persons and gave the microphone one after the other until the 3rd person, who spoke and now said he would like that Wase, who was in the dinner, would speak. Let me also say that there were 2 or 3 other aspirants to the position of speaker from the north who did not attend the dinner. And we are also privy to their reason, because they say we know that meeting is to tell you the way and manner to go about the position of speaker. I am saying, and I want to repeat that, we're in April. The party has taken a position and they communicated a position, but this April we have May. And the National Assembly will not be inaugurated till sometime in June. So we'll continue to engage, we'll continue to agitate, believing and hoping that the party will see reason and do things differently.
And if they don't?
Well, we will see how it all plays out. It happened in the 8th Assembly. I wasn't happy, and I will tell you what happened. I will tell you, I was a key player, even though I was a first-time member. I was a key player in that whole thing. Like, he is coming in now as a first-time member. There's a whole lot of the processes that he probably may not know about. There's a whole lot. What does the rule say? What does the Constitution say?
What role did you play in the 8th Assembly?
I was clearly the person that seconded Dogara's nomination after Jubril Abirino, who is today leading Femi's campaign. Jubril Abirino from Kano, from the same Kano with him, is leading Femi's campaign now was the one person that nominated Dogara on the floor. And I had the responsibility of seconding the nomination of Dogara. And that was against the party's position at the time. The party had done exactly what, party did exactly what is doing now. And we all went in there, and but at the end of the day, I wouldn't beat my chest and say that I was proud. Maybe it was out of naivety. I wouldn't say that I was proud that I went against the position of my party. I'm not sure I'm going to do that now. I'm not sure I'm going to play the same role and part now. I can say that clearly. But I will still wish that my party will learn from the past. You know what they say, that history suffers in Asia. We're talking about less than 4 years ago. That played out. And here we are walking the same path. I wish we don't have to. You
don't think that the party will be seen as rewarding you for betraying its own position in 2015?
Say again.
If you don't think that the party will be seen as rewarding you for betraying its own position in 2015, if, for instance, you are, it is zoned to the southeast with you as the primary beneficiary.
No, I don't think it's going to be the case. Jubil Abimino, who nominated, was compensated with chairmanship of appropriation merely after the emergence of the leadership. This is our politics, and they understand it. The leadership of the party, or they even have more experience than some of us. They know that these things play out. Even as we are talking, the national chairman was merely also pleading. Like, I can use the word lobbying. They are still engaging. They know that at the end of the day, that the word my colleague used, lobbying, they also know that things may also not go exactly the way they want it, but they are still engaging, I want to say, and we are also engaging. So it's not about me only for the office of speaker, position of speaker. It's about making sure that the voice of the southeast is heard in this.
I want to chip in something he forgot. We are not in 8th Assembly, but we're privy to the happenings of 8th Assembly. His colleagues, the current 8th Assembly, told us that there was never an engagement like this in the 8th Assembly, whereby members were invited to sit down with Mr. President and discuss the issue about zoning and about leadership.
You just heard him. He said it was not an engagement, that it was just a meeting.
What I mean, even in the 8th Assembly,
yes,
it didn't happen like that. There was just, the party just came out. And I remember then, vividly, Mr. President came out to say, I'm ready to work with whoever emerges. But this time around, Mr. President was there when the party was making.
So you think it's going to make a difference?
It makes a difference because many of us, people like me, myself, I know a lot of us, about the new members are about 160. We promised ourselves that we are going to follow the party supremacy. We're going to be loyal to the party, and whatever Mr. President says we should do, we are ready as long as we know it's in line, bearing in mind that Mr. President is somebody that believes in system.
Well, we'll see how that eventually plays out. The 9th Assembly will soon be convening. I think this is going to happen sometime in June or thereabout. But we have to thank you, gentlemen, for coming on Sunrise Today this morning. Honorable Chike Okafor is a member of the All Progressives Congress from Imo State. And we've also had Honorable Hafiz Ibrahim, a member of the All Progressives Congress as well from Kano State.